Hey, how you doing? Check this out. Alright, so in today's lesson, we're going to learn not only this cool riff, but more specifically, we're going to explore the techniques behind this style of playing, which is so much fun. Jimmy wasn't the only one to play this way. Guys like Stevie Ray Vaughan used this technique as well. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I don't want you to miss out. Alright, so we're going to start by hitting the low E string twice. And then the chord, E7 sharp 9. But here is the key element of this style of playing. You see, the right hand is freely moving. And the left hand, you see, I have the fingers for where the chord is, but I release the pressure enough so that the notes are muted when I play the low E string. So if I hit all the 6 strings now, only the low E string is ringing. And then I simply just apply the pressure. Like that. And then when I do that, the middle finger, the tip of it, is touching the low E string, so it mutes it. Like that. And that's the key technique for this. And this is really, really important, because that makes it possible for you to play things like it's a muting technique. And by the way, when it comes to the thin E string, it's being muted with the pinky here. The pinky is just touching that string enough to mute it. All right, so we have. Now we're going to add this. So it's just a pentatonic lick or riff, and I'm sliding in with my ring finger. Switch to the A string. Back to the low A string with the middle finger. And now up to the D string here. And it's kind of greasy sounding because my right hand is still moving up and down. And then I finish with. So that's a quick pull off on the A string. And then down to the E string here. And then for the second riff, we start out the same way, but here we play on the low E string. And then it starts over again. That's the whole thing. Now let's practice together. We're going to be using the metronome first at 100 beats per minute, then at 140 beats per minute. And I'm using the Soundbrenner Pulse, which I think is really cool. You can see it, you can of course hear it, but you can also feel it because it's a vibrating metronome. So I can feel it in my arm as it's ticking. Very handy. All right, here we go. Now, this style is definitely tricky to play cleanly when the right hand is going up and down. But what you got to remember is that you're muting all the notes and strings that you're not playing. And I admit, it's tricky. You know, it's easy to get extra noise. You can almost not avoid that. But let's take a look at this. See, my right hand is going up and down. And while I'm doing that, the thinner strings are being muted with index finger. Right, so first the low E string, and then when I switch, now the low E string is muted by the tip of the index finger. And then when I play the E string, back to muting the other 5 with the index finger. And then when I go up to the D string, the same approach happens as before. The index finger is muting those strings. But now, look at my middle finger. It goes on top of the E string. Just sitting there with one purpose only, to mute that string. So. And as you can hear, I get some noise too. But my right hand is moving up and down to keep time, because that is your drummer. That's your groove machine. You got to keep the right hand moving to get into the feel for this groove. And sometimes you might get that note ringing a little bit, but don't worry about it. Just keep doing this over and over with the metronome at a tempo at which you're comfortable with. And eventually, over time, you'll find that unconsciously you're moving your fingers and adjusting them so that you mute the noise that you don't want. It just happens automatically, more or less, the more you practice this. And listen for that extra noise and make the small adjustments where they need to be. And there we go. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know by adding a comment. And do not forget to subscribe. I'd also like to encourage you to check out my website, masterguitaracademy.com. I have hundreds of lessons there, and they come with something called Sound Slice, which makes it really easy to learn from, because the video and tab is available on the screen at the same time, synced together. The gear I use today: this guitar, a Shure C1 Pro. The amp is a KO Plexi. Check them out at koamps.com. It's a little mini Plexi style amp. And I also used a True Overdrive 1 from Luna Stone Pedals. So have an awesome day, happy playing, and I'll see you next time.